All right. Good afternoon, you all. Welcome to AA Mills TV. Today we're going to discuss three topics that have come across my timeline, come across my everyday conversations, and I just want to give my input on these things. Um, no particular order. What we're going to do, we're first going to talk about the New Orleans escapee escapade right now. So, about 2 weeks ago, we all know that 12, I think it was 11 to 12 inmates escaped the correctional institution down there in New Orleans. Being a resident from or a citizen from New Orleans, born and raised, um, you know, I know how our people think down there. And um, to my understanding, and my observations, a lot of our people, me included, because I used to think like that, we have a strong sense of delusion of entitlement. It kind of works hand in hand. The delusion works hand in hand with the entitlement. And let me explain that. People feel entitled to things because of the things that they think in their mind or what they appear or what they believe to be true. Not always the case. Excuse me. Prime example, the young man who came across, and we probably in the same age category. I just call him a young man because he appears to be a young man, still a grown man, whatever. All right. So this young man got up on the Instagram platform. I didn't see this until about yesterday evening after like maybe 7 p.m. is when I first saw it. Um, he got on there stating how he was innocent and how he was let out of the jail. First and foremost, you did better go and turn yourself in than to getting on that platform. That's my opinion. We do know that the system is very broken in New Orleans. If our people travel and go to any other city, some of them may make it and some of them may not. The reason I say this is because our city is system is so flexible that when you go somewhere where the laws are stern and you don't have no other choice but to abide by those laws, you're not going to make it. And I say that because when you cross a different parish's line, or their parishes in Louisiana, every other city state has counties. When you cross a different parish or a different county state line, those laws immediately change. And people of New Orleans do not understand that. You can't, they understand because you can't do the same things you do in Orleans Parish and Jefferson Parish or St. Tammany or St. Bernard. You can't do the same things. However, they lack the accountability for their actions. Okay. Let me move into another example of what I mean by that. When we were in school, it could be elementary, it could even go as low as preschool daycare, in the household, at school, wherever. When you act a certain way, if your behavior was a certain way that it didn't go in the same realms of what your guardian, your grown up, your parent, whoever watching it, if it did not go their way, you would have to face some type of consequence, whether it's a timeout in school, whether it was a demerit, whether it was a detention, whether it was Saturday detention, whether you no longer could be on the sport team or the dance team, whatever. So as we became adults, the amount of entitlement that we feel that we're untouchable, No one can correct us. That has to stop, y'all. You can't feel like just because today you're a different person, all of the bad that you've done or all of the, you know, crimes that you've committed, that just goes out the window. Regardless, what you should be doing is trying to put yourself in a better position to avoid all of that in the beginning. Our people fail to understand. I'm not just picking on my city, but I pick on what I know because I know how our people think. I know how, you know, the entitlement is just complete delusion. All right. Whenever you whenever you go and visit another city, and that's another thing, a lot of our people really don't travel much, or they don't want to move and branch out to another space because it's going to be hard for them. It's not going to be nothing like home. That's not something that they're interested in. You know, we typically are comfortable, and that comfort zone is going to keep us bound to the same things. A lot of things happen in our community and people just turn their head. That's not safe. That's not safe. Somebody needs to speak up about things, whether they were let out or they broke out, whatever. There needs to be some stern laws in place. Y'all have to stop being so flexible. Y'all have to stop being so flexible because you're going to lose your position, getting tricked out of your position because you want to be flexible. People have to be stern these days. You can't expect bad behavior to be rewarded. From my understanding, he reached out, well, he's asking for the president to step in. He's asking for some local artists from New Orleans to step in and help him. And also some other artists outside who have been in some jailhouse trouble, stuff like that. But my thing is, we have to start in the home. What I notice a lot of people excuses are, oh, my family didn't have this growing up or didn't have that growing up. Let me tell you something. As good as it may look, I also didn't have a lot growing up, but I chose to go the other way. Yeah, I was taught to go to school, make good grades, this and that, because my mom wanted better, my dad wanted better for me. I was not perfect. I went left sometimes. I didn't always go the right direction. I went left sometimes myself also. However, never, never did I allow what I saw in my family, I saw in my peers, never did I allow that to influence me. I always had my own conscience, my own relationship with the higher power to guide me. And everything I did, I always asked the higher power to guide me, to order my steps. And I don't want to get too biblical, but sometimes we have to take it there. You have to have a mind of your own in these times, in these days. Otherwise, you're lost. You have to have a relationship with the higher power, whomever you believe and pray to, whomever you feel comfortable. Men, people are not reliable. You have to have a strong sense of self. You have to have a strong sense of spirituality at the end of the day, because my golden rule is everything contradicts itself one way or another. Everything. I might say, oh, I'm going to do this for you and I'm going to pick you up at this time. All right. After I talk to you about that, So many other things has come up to where now I'm running late. Now it's going to seem like when I tell you this, I'm making an excuse. It's a contradiction. That is why I'm at peace with my golden rule of life, knowing everything contradicts itself. I don't take anything personal. Sometimes I do because I'm only human, but I distract myself with positive things so that I don't dwell on what it is I'm thinking about, because my thoughts are not always true, if that makes sense. Prime example. I'm gonna give you a real example of life contradictions. Literally just happened to me yesterday, and I really don't like to get too personal, but I want you to see what I mean by this. All right. So yesterday I had an event come up. It was a virtual event. Okay. I called like 2 months in advance. April was what, 2 months ago? I called 2 months in advance so that when my contract ended, it would automatically be restored, right? Not paying attention to the date. I had already set that up. It was supposed to already be set up for me. I done saw 3 angel numbers pop up since I've been talking on this call. Anyway, right? It should have already been set up. So good thing I was preparing myself in time for the virtual interview. I sat down about 15 minutes prior to when the interview was going to start and realized that my contract must have ended with my internet, right? So I'm like, oh man, um, I'm trying to go reset it manually. I'm like, I'm panicking, but I'm not panicking because I have a backup. I have a hotspot on my cell phone, so I can use that. So it didn't work, you know, and that was fine for me. I ended up just using my hotspot. All right. But it's crazy because this interview is important. And all of a sudden, my internet goes out and it was just working like 30 minutes prior. That is what I mean by when I say the enemy come to steal, rob, kill, and destroy. Tried to rob me of my time had I not prepared myself. And everything works for a reason. Everything has a purpose and a place under heaven. Yes, everything works out for a reason. You know, I pay my phone bill, I pay my light bill, I pay everything that I'm supposed to pay because I have to. That's a responsibility. It's a necessity. I can't do anything without my phone. I can't do anything without lights. I can't do anything. Well, I can do some things without internet, but you see what I'm saying? Had I not paid my phone bill, then I would not have the option to get my internet. That's a contradiction of life to, you know, that's a prime example of how things contradict themselves. You have this date set up for a consultation with a client, and boom, your internet stops. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to stay ready so you won't ever have to get ready. Okay, so that's my first thing about that. I just wanted to brush up on the entitlement and delusion that our people have, and this is all across the country, the United States, the globe. We have a sense of entitlement, and we have to remember that nobody owes us anything. No one owes us anything, y'all. And we have to be at peace knowing that people are going to choose themselves. And if you really love people, you're going to allow them to choose themselves. Allow them that peace. Allow them to choose themselves. Have grace, because at the end of the day, you're going to choose yourself. So you can't be mad when people have things going on. We all have things going on. And that's what I mean by the contradictions of life. Just because I don't answer the phone for you today, or just because I don't talk to you in a week, doesn't mean I love you any less. You know what I'm saying? Because life is happening, and I understand that. And I don't walk around with a grudge. Yes, I am very wise and I do have a very precise intuition. I'm rarely wrong, but I'm not always right either. And I can be accountable about that. So I just want our people to get on board when it comes to accountability and being delusional about certain things. Everything that we think does not mean it's true. And I just want us to get on one page with that. All right, so that's 15 minutes into that topic. The next topic I wanted to discuss, and that kind of intertwines with the emotional intelligence that I'm going to brush up on again. Um, the next thing that I wanted to talk about, so I was scrolling on Twitter and I ran across this page and it pops up a lot on my algorithm. And it was this guy, and it says, Black man loses job after exposing undercover husband. So after watching the video, there's this black male who is basically telling a situation that happened to him at work. Um, he basically was approached by, I guess, his boss's wife about his relationship with her husband, which is his boss. And in the beginning of the video, he's like, I feel sorry for black women and I love you. This is coming from a feminine masculine. I don't want to use the terminology he used, but a feminine masculine. And, take it from me, da 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 da. And he basically goes on to say how, he doesn't understand what's going on. Why do men walk down the aisle with women who they know they really don't want to be with and they end up sleeping with men? My question is, I retweeted the post. I quote tweeted the post, and I this is my response to it. I said, "You tell me. You're a man, so you tell us." I'm tired of seeing this kind of delusion on my TL. I'm logging off today, which brought me to this podcast episode for today. And eventually, I'm gonna get some better structure, but this is just what it is for now. Because I could definitely set up better than this, but this is just what it is for now. Okay, so boom. All right, gotta start somewhere. All right, so this is like uh I'm trying to see how I want to say this, because I don't want to step on any toes. I don't want to, hurt anyone for anything that I say, because who am I to say? I don't like that, y'all. Let me fix this. I am only a human as well. I'm not perfect. No one on this earth is. No one on this earth is. I'm just messing around right now. Okay, that looks okay, but I don't really care for that either. Definitely. Nah. I don't like the floating look. The floating look. But no, seriously. Okay, so boom, back to the point. Let me get back to the point. The point of the matter is, and maybe I should let you guys hear this. That's what I'll do. Ladies, I am here to tell you, when y'all intuition is going off in your head, please, 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 this is coming from a punk. This is coming from somebody who adores y'all. Please listen to it, because your intuition is not lying. No shade. I literally just got fired all because I told my boss's wife, well, she came to me because she wanted to know what was going on, and I let her know. I'm not gonna be that one to have this lady stressed and pulling her hair out, all because she knows something, but she can't verify it. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I know this shit is going on, but I need that proof. You fired me because I let this woman know you be on my ass. You eat my ass. You literally give me fellatio and you pay me
extra money for what you do to me because you don't want me to quote unquote tell, which I did not tell. But if this lady is coming to me because your ass don't know how to be secretive and delete messages and stuff, you let this lady go through your phone, and this lady came to me. She knew exactly who I was. She knew that I would work for you. What else was I supposed to do? And then it's like, I be feeling so bad for women because it's like these niggas will walk down the aisle, vow to this lady just to want to be with a man and sleep with a man. You did not have to waste that lady time. Get this lady kids, fuck up her body. Like, what the fuck is going on? And now I'm unemployed. There are ladies,
So, good Lord Almighty. I mean, you tell me, what is going on, sir? You're a man. You're sleeping with that man who has a family, probably a wife. So you tell me what's going on. Please. I want to know what's going on also. How are you not able to answer that also? Mentally, what's going on in your head that you can't answer that also? I need answers. I need some answers. I need some answers. I mean, if you want to talk more about this topic, comment below. There's the email info@sheworking.com to feature as a guest on the show, and we can talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Why is it that down low men are afraid to live in their truth? There are women who will accept a man that goes both ways, bisexual, and there are women who are not going to accept that. So you'll risk being with a woman who's unacceptable to it just to portray the like what is going on. And for my guys who are with the down low man who sneaks with that man, what is going on, y'all? What is going on, y'all? Seriously, we need to figure out what is going on. What is going on? Because quite frankly, I don't understand. What is going on? I can't put my head around this. I don't understand this. And honestly, I have my own thoughts about this, and I don't think it's necessary for me to say them out loud. No, it's not cruel, because I'm a child of God and I shall not judge. I don't judge. But as a woman, I don't understand why a man would be with a woman and he wants to be with a man. Why? Why waste a woman's time like that? Is it a social construct? Is it because your family won't accept it? Is it because society is pushing heterosexual relationships? They're more in favor of heterosexual relationships than homogeneous. Like, what's going on? We need answers, y'all. We need answers. Comment below because we need answers. We need answers. I'm gonna be looking at this tweet. Right now, there's 31 comments. Let's see what some of the comments. Okay, the person who posted it says he shouldn't have been with that lady husband in the first place. That's very key too. However, it brings me to ask again, what's going on? Are y'all just can't control your hormones, or is it because you know it's wrong, you enjoy it? What's going on? I don't know. Okay, this other comment says Doctors are saying most women who are contracting HIV are married women and women in relationships. In today's time, being married isn't an honor, it's a cover up. Now, I forgot I did comment on that. Um, about 3 years ago when I moved to Dallas, God spoke to me. I'm getting chills on my body as I'm saying this. Yeah. God spoke to me personally and ordered me, not to be in a relationship at this time. And this is not to shed any shade on any of my married friends because I love them. I want that for you all, especially happy marriages. And if it does not apply, it's not for you, period. But God told me, in these times, this is not the time for commitment. It is a lot of that going on. Men and men, women and men, trans women with trans men. It's all confusing. And my thing is, we have kids growing up watching these things that we're putting on the television, watching our public, watching like the laws are changing. There's a law in California that you can't stop a street walker. So they're walking the daytime, half naked. Kids are going to school. They don't have, you know what I'm saying, could see anything at this point. It's getting wicked out here, you know? And we have to walk on eggshells because who are we trying to protect here? We have kids growing up. If the whole world begins to stay with same, I mean, you know what? I take that back because what they're doing is they're changing, they're transitioning from male to women, but they can still reproduce. But then it'll be confusing because now the trans male, which biologically is a woman, can now walk around with a belly and a beard. So it's going to be confusing to these kids. So my question is, who is going to teach these kids right from wrong? Who is going to show them? And we have to walk on eggshells again. No right or wrong, but when it comes to king law and when it comes to worldly law, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. That's just it. A lot of people don't understand why Christians believe in certain things. There are so many social constructs behind religion that it sways people who are trying to find themselves in the word away from the churches. And that is such a huge decline in cultures all over. The priests, many of them have been deemed perverted. The pastors in the pulpit, they have been deemed perverted. Like, in my opinion, the sin of the world, no sin is greater than the other, but right now, the biggest sin is sexual sin. People cannot refrain from their earthly desires, their fleshly desires. They have no self-control, no discipline. And that is an eternal problem within oneself eternally. You are not strong enough to refrain from the desires of your flesh. And that has become such a huge problem in every community. Excuse me. I don't know what that is. Anyway, back to my thought. It has become a huge problem in our community. All right, so what people do, the problem is it's too acceptable these days for people to share what goes on in their bedroom. That's where the problem starts, because what's done in the dark is coming up to the light willingly. If you're going to do those things, do that in your private life. No one would know had you not told, had you not been out and about, flamboyant about it, because you only have to answer to one person, and he's up there, the higher power, whoever you know, whether you believe or not, you have to answer to yourself at the end of the day, to your kids at the end of the day. We have to set examples for our future generations, because they are the ones who are going to take care of us at the end of the day. So if we are lacking on showing them what it is that they need, or their upbringing, even if a child chooses to go that route, you still should let them know what is right and what is deemed as wrong. Give them that choice. Protect our kids. Protect them from, anything that can harm their mental. Because a lot of people who, from my observation, a lot of people who seem to go that route, they've either been rejected, they've been abused, they've been molested, they've been constantly heartbroken, they don't feel accepted, like I said, rejection. They deal with some type of trauma. They're looking for love in all of the wrong places. And that is not always the case for some. But if you, like, I really, really want to talk to somebody of this origin and understand them. I'm not judging you at all, because you're still a child under the kingdom, under God. So I'm just trying to understand what allows people to feel like certain things. Because when I look at this video, it's a contradiction. You love women, you love us, but you're sleeping with someone you love, a woman. Not technically he loved that woman, but he loves us collectively. You love us collectively, but you're sleeping with someone who has it's a contradiction. And that is exactly what I be talking about, y'all. Everything contradicts itself one way or another. It's just too complicated to talk about right now. But I really do want to talk and interview someone who will keep it 1,000 with me, keep it a milli with me, literally. Like, serious, I want to understand without you feeling like I'm judging you. Be able to talk and answer those hard questions, because I'm trying to understand. Psychologist by nature. I have never took any psychology courses in my life. But I'm one by nature, because I understand. My mind is advanced when it comes to psychology. It's just natural to me. The last thing I want to talk about, and all of these topics pretty much go together, emotional intelligence. In one of my last episodes with a former co-host, we talked about the lack of emotional intelligence. My definition of emotional intelligence, briefly, concisely, straight to the point, not taking anything personal. Don't take anything personal. I'm going to read a few tweets, that I tweeted just before I came on this platform. Okay. So, let's see. All right. It says phones, internet, social media has created such access to society that we don't know what it feels like to wait on things anymore, or better, how to be without things anymore. And that is as true as can be. The internet makes it so easy. We can order something and it can get to us in about 4 hours top from Amazon. We can go pick up our orders like that from Walmart, Target. The internet makes things so much more accessible. Technology has made things so much more accessible that we don't know how to be without. As of late, I have been strategically spending wiser. Been doing this for about 2 years now. I spend much wiser than I used to. Used to blow through money. However, now I'm categorizing what I need versus the things that I want. If it is a want, it can wait. It'll be there. If it is a need, that's something I need today. I need it now. For instance, if I'm low on what? Let's say I'm low on dish detergent. Okay, that is a need. But I want this trigger, or I want this little thing for my camera so I could just press it and it starts recording me from a distance. All right. I like to go to Sam's and get bulk of the things like for household, right? Or Costco. So I want to get the big thing of detergent, about the same price as what? The trigger. But what do I need? I need those dishes to maintain the proper wash, the proper cleansing. I don't need this trigger. I could just set the timer, hit it, and hurry up and get to where I'm at. You see what I'm saying? It's all about balancing your needs and your wants. So when technology has made things so accessible, we send a text or we call a friend, family member, whomever. We call them, we expect them to pick up right away. Oh, they are always on their phone. I know they see me calling. I know they saw my text. We don't know anything. We don't know if they lost their phone. We don't know if they forgot their phone at home. We don't know anything. But because technology has made it so accessible, we feel like we should be able to access people right away. And that's not cool. We have to revert back to an emotional, intelligent way of thinking. Oh, they didn't pick up? They'll call me back. Or they didn't text me back? Oh, well, it was just a text. They'll get back to me as soon as they can. Why will we allow ourselves to get upset behind little things like that when we don't know what's happening on the opposite side of the world? Yes, some of us do answer our phone on every call, every ring, first ring, everything. But sometimes people need to take a reset, a break. We have to be emotionally intelligent when it comes to these things, y'all. We can't expect in us from other people. Not everyone thinks like us. Not everyone has the strength or mental capacity to handle things like you handled them. Iron sharpens iron. Okay? The next thing about emotional intelligence I want to talk about, and I was just talking to my big sister about this. Um, you know, when someone can be honest with us about things, sometimes we overthink it. What I mean by that, if I tell you, oh, I was doing this when you call, I heard the phone ringing, but I was in another room, so I couldn't answer, and I was doing this. And I'm not saying that to be explaining really and truly. I'm reassuring you, you know, but sometimes people will overthink that, and they'll be thinking like, "Oh, but you heard the phone. I know you heard the phone." Y'all have to understand, some people need to reset. You have to give each other space. You have to give people their space so that they can feel, you know, recharge when they talk to you. We don't want to overdo our power. Like my mom used to tell me, you don't want to wear your welcome out, you know? Have grace with yourself as well as your peers, your family, and others. Yes, we're human. We get upset. People get on our nerves. It's true. Right now, I'm doing a fast 40 days, 40 nights. I eat at 4 and 4, between 4 and 6. Every day, I have to eat. If I don't eat, I have to skip it. This is my second bottle of water. I should have drank more water than this, but I didn't have anything when I left the house earlier. So this is my second bottle. I can't eat till 4. I was about to say 2, but it's really 2 hours I was trying to say. And it's because I'm fasting for something. I'm teaching myself some discipline. I'm trying to gain some type of, like I tweeted once before, I'm expecting like I'm carrying because I am sacrificing, and I'm trying to be obedient at the same time. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I might mess up and have a bite to eat because I didn't eat since 4 a.m. or I didn't eat since 4 p.m. So I might skip and get me another bite to eat in between. So it's all about discipline. Everything I talked about today kind of goes together if you think about it. It's about discipline. It's the fact that those guys escaped unauthorized. It's a disciplinary act. You were already incarcerated, so you are under restriction, but then you violated again. So now you have to go through this process again. It's something that we have to remember. When a child acts out, they are then disciplined. When an athlete or an employee acts out, they are then disciplined. There's a place for everything. You commit a crime, you are then disciplined. That is it. Fix it. Get it together. That is all. And I don't want to take up too much of our time. I'm doing 2 more minutes. That's it. 45 minutes is long. But it was a lot that I hope this reached somebody. They learned something. A very strong part of everything in our life is discipline. If you have no self-discipline, you're going to hurt yourself. You have no self-control, you're going to hurt yourself. It's all about discipline, people. If you do not discipline your children, they will walk this earth not knowing right from wrong. They know, but they wasn't nobody could tell them nothing. Now mama couldn't do it, the daddy couldn't do it. They blame it on, oh, I didn't have this. When you know better, you do better. And because I know better, I'm doing better. And that's exactly what I mean. It's discipline. Obedience is far better than sacrifice, because you could sacrifice and do something completely worthy of that sacrifice. But because you wasn't obedient, what you sacrificed just went out the window. Boom, poof. Yes, I put this in the directions. You did everything, but you missed this step. That's just how it works. And I hope this bless somebody. And I hope that we get those answers that we're looking for, because, man, what is going on? Let's talk about it. Peace.